Wow, welcome afresh to this channel. This is Kelechi from Ketchme Properties Limited. Okay, today we'll be discussing something so important. I bet you will like it. Everybody's dream in Nigeria is to own a home. Yes, the reason why we are working hard, especially in Lagos State, is to make sure that we own our own house. That you now be paying rent. Paying rent is stressful, and not only that, the wahala of landlord and the rest of it. So it's everyone's dream to own a home, but for home investors or new investors, it can be tedious, can be really tedious, making that decision, buying existing home, the one that is already built, or buying a land and building yourself. So we are going to be looking at the pros and cons of these two factors: building a home yourself or buying one that is already built. Okay, so that's what we're discussing in this room. And don't forget that, like I said earlier, this is Kelechi from Ketchme Properties Limited. We are a real estate consulting firm based here in Nigeria, Lagos State, that make sure that you have real estate investment that are free from every form of government encumbrances, and also to give you a peace of mind. So if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe and hit the notification button so that whenever we make a video, you will be the first to receive it. And those of you who are watching us all this while, I say thank you, kudos to you. Want to make sure that we give you the best so that you keep coming back. Please don't forget to share and like this comment so that the other people like you can benefit from our videos. So let us dive deep into this topic. Which one do you think is better off as a new investor? Is it to build a house yourself, that's buy a land and build for yourself, or to buy one that is already built? So that's what we'll be discussing on this episode. Sit back and relax. It's promised to be interesting, and do not skip any part of this video. Let's go there. Wow, welcome back. Thank you for staying through. Okay, and I promise you that it's going to be interested, so do not skip any part of this video because it promised to be exciting. Okay, remember what we are discussing today. Which one is more preferable, buying a land and building yourself, or building or buying existing building, or buying the one that is already built? So which one do you think is more preferable? So let's dive deep into this topic. First and foremost, let's start from the pros of buying a land and building by yourself. Remember, it's not every Nigerian that can afford to pay up to 30 to 35 million naira for a bungalow on the island. It's not everyone. Okay, some people prefer to build for themselves, right? And remember, the cost of building a bungalow on the island might not be up to even 15 million naira. Is enough to build a bungalow. Yes, even less. But you see developers selling as high as 30 to 35 million naira for a bungalow, maybe for instance in Abidjan. Yes, or even Awayaya, 30-35 million naira for a bungalow, 4-bedroom bungalow. And those bungalows are sitting on less than 300 square meters, most of them, as the case may be. But you bought 600 square meters, and out of that 600 square meters, you can divide it and build your bungalow, and you still have change. Yes, so it's cheap. And for example, in the same plot of land that you're building, maybe you want to build a duplex or 4-bedroom duplex on a plot. The same plot, 600 square meters, a developer can put in a structure, 4 terraces, that 4 units of 4-bedroom terraces on that same plot, and still sell it as high as 50 to 65 million naira per unit. They multiply it by that 4 units. That will tell you how much these guys are making on a plot of land. Well, let them not crucify me, because this is a secret I'm sharing with you. So it's not more cheap to buy and build and divide your plot into parts. One of these days, I will show you, I will make a video on what you can build on 250 square meters. You will amaze you that you can get even up to 3-bedroom duplex on a 250 square meters with a parking space. Yes, that's what they do now. You can see a developer buying a plot of like 500 square meters, and in that 500 square in that plot, he's going to get you a 4 units of semi-detached duplex, 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex each. One is facing like this. He put a space and put the other 2 at the back, and people are buying it. So you see that you as an investor, it is more cheap for you to go and buy a land and build than buying existing one. That's number one. Number two reason is that when you are building yourself, okay, it gives you an opportunity for flexibility. Okay, that means we can start with any amount you have and build and start building gradually. What do I mean by that? Yes, you can have money for foundation. You go and do your foundation and wait a little longer. When money comes, you add. Before you know it, you already have your house standing. Okay, so that is another point. So it gives you room to do to build your house with what you have on your hand. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to have all the money for you to do that. Like in Nigeria, where we don't have mortgage working, you only a developer wants to give out his house, he's gonna give you at most 24 months instrumental payment with a heavy interest. Yes, the house is going for 24 million naira. He will put it at 30 million at 24 months. So you see that is the flexibility is not there. 24 months is 2 years. Some of us must afford 30 million naira in 2 years. But if you're building yourself, you can take your time, 5 years, to do what? To gather your resources, and before you know it, without stress, you're already having your building standing. Okay. The next point is that you are in control of the design. Yes. When you are building a home yourself, you are in control of the design. That means you will be the one to determine what is in place. Okay, I want a swimming pool on my sitting room. Yes, that's or inside your bedroom. That's up to you. So that means you are in control. You want a kitchen cabinet in my kitchen in this format, So you are the one looking after and checking and giving that directive what you want. But when it comes to existing house that you're buying, you are not in control. Even costs you more, because sometimes when you buy it, you're not doing what we call reconstructing. You now go there and start putting what is not there, which amount to extra cost. But when you are building yourself, you are in charge of the design. So you set out the design, put this one for me here, put this one here. I need the toilet in this angle. This is the kind of space I want. This is the size of the bedroom I want. So you are in control. So another reason also is that when you're building yourself, it gives you opportunity to know the kind of material that is being used to build for you. That means you're eliminating totally the use of inferior material. So it's important. So when you're building, you look after, even when you give the house out for a contractor who is doing it for you, you see time to time come around to check whether the material they are using is inferior or superior. That is a good material. Unlike a house that is already standing, the land is built already. You cannot determine the kind of material that is used to build a house. And remember, like I said, every developer who is building a home to sell has one thing in mind: a huge return. That's what they have. This point I want to make now looks so superstitious, but in this part of this world, it's also what people are afraid of. Some believe that when they move into an existing house, sometimes things happen to them. That means there is, we call it superstitious belief, that people believe that when they move into an existing house, there is a possibility that the builder or the developer has done something on the building that makes them not to progress. This is not a proven fact, but some still believe in it. So, but when you build yourself, it eliminates this kind of belief that the reason why I'm not progressing is now since I entered this house or since I bought this house, I don't know what happened to me. I have witnessed it myself. He was a banker. He has 2 cars. When he moved into the house, he couldn't pay again. The only money he was able, this one is actually renting, the only money he was able to pay is that first money he paid. He couldn't pay. He stayed there 6 good years without payment. And with that day, he was crying when they were throwing his things out. He said he don't know what happened to him. That really he moved into this house, things begin to go somehow. So, but when you're building yourself, it helps you to eliminate this kind of belief. So I want you to understand one thing, that even though that there is a lot of advantage of building your house yourself, there are also some disadvantages. So let's see some of them. So one of the disadvantages of building yourself is, one, the stress level is high. Okay, the stress of managing the artisans and the workmen are very, very high. So you'll be calling a plumber, as you're calling a plumber, the the electrician is giving you a headache. You know, it's a lot of people choose to buy existing house because of this stress. They don't want to enter into any stress of calling this one, why this one say he's gonna come to finish up. It's taking time, you know, and sometimes these workers, they will collect money and they are gone. So a lot of people doesn't want to go through that stress. Okay, number 2 disadvantage is that land grabbers, we call them in Lagos State omonile. If you're building yourself from the pin, anything you bring in that site, you have to pay for it. Your foundation level, when you are doing your piling, when you are doing your casting, anything, when you are roofing, you will stop paying when you move in. As far as work is going on that land, you keep on paying. Unlike when you buy an existing house, you have nothing to pay. You have nothing because you are not the one that built the house. The developer has already finished all the wahala for you to before you move in. So it is in that angle more easier to even buy one than to go after building yourself. So another disadvantage is that the cost of materials are not constant. Like in Nigeria where we find ourselves, the cost of building material are not static. Okay, what the cost of cement today might not be the cost of cement when you will be rounding off your building. Since you are building at your pace, okay, you are taking your time to build. A lot of materials that you bought cheap when you started building might not be at the same level at long run. So the cost of material keep on changing. So it's one of the risks or the one of the disadvantage of building yourself. Since you're not building immediately or building spontaneously, it also gives you that headache of, oh, the price of material is always increasing. Okay, but the last but not the least, if you're building yourself, you cannot move in immediately. You can't move in immediately. For people who have the issue, people who got a job or want to move because of schools and everything, so you see that building yourself is not visible. Okay, because you won't have to move in 6 months time. How can you gather the resources to build that house and get it ready in 6 months? So you see, in that regard, buying a house becomes the option. So now I want you to sit back and relax. Let's see the pros of buying already built house. So I'm so happy that you are still here. Okay, now let's move to buying existing house. Okay, what are the pros of buying existing house? Number 1, buying existing house eliminates stress. Okay, that is number 1 reason. You should know that it is stress free, and that's the more reason why people do buy existing house, because the cost of materials, the cost of chasing the workers, the artisans and the workers are not there. You just go and buy what you want to buy. So that's the first point. It is stress free. Okay, and another thing you should know is that when you are buying a house, you know what you're buying. Yes, 4-bedroom flat, and it gives you room for an options. So what do? You meet an agent or a realtor who will take you to 4 or 5 locations where you will now pick. Okay, it gives you opportunity to make choice of location. And when you are building yourself, remember, there's a particular places where you cannot see land to buy, like all those prime locations, like in VI, like in in Ikoyi. You might not see an empty land to buy, or at Isokoro in Abuja. You might not see empty lands to buy. And when you even see empty land, they are always on the higher side. It gives you opportunity to do what? To buy existing house. Okay, and it's flexible also, because now you are buying in a prime location, in the location where you want. But when you are building yourself, sometimes you are forced to go to an area where you don't want, because that is where lands are available. You go there and build your tent. So it's important you understand. So 1 is what? Stress free to buy an existing house. 2, it also gives you varieties to choose from, so you know what you are buying into. So when you are going into buying properties, you know that, okay, this is what I'm buying. 4-bedroom duplexes, 5-bedroom duplexes with a swimming pool. So you know, you go there and pay. The next pros about buying the one that is already built is that it eliminates any stress of omonile or land grabbers. Okay, you have no issue with anyone on Monile. You just go and buy your land. All the headache has already been done and taken care of by the developer who has settled all those problem for you. You don't have to worry yourself for anything. So you are buying into an apartment or into a duplex. You know you are going there just to make your payment. The only stress that is there is the stress of inspecting different locations. That's the only stress that is there, inspecting different locations and getting what you want and picking into it. So another pros of buying already built house is that it gives you room for negotiation. Okay, when an agent gets the house for you, it gives you a room to negotiate about the property you are buying. Okay, the developer puts the asking price at 50 million naira. You cannot negotiate to fit your budget. So it's important. Okay, and that's not all. Another reason is that when you are in a hurry to move, maybe you got a job or you have what you want to do, it gives you opportunity to do what? To buy immediately. You cannot build a house for yourself in 6 months time just to move in because you got a new job or you're relocating. So what people do is that when they are relocated, they do what? They go in for already built houses. That is fast and easy to get. So one of the disadvantages of buying an existing home is that developers has one thing in mind when they are building a home: profit. Okay, so there is a possibility of you buying an inferior house because the house is not built by you. So when you are building yourself, you can monitor the material that is used to build a house. But when a developer is the one selling to you, the house is already standing. You don't know the quality of the material used on that material because his aim is to make profit. But when you are building for yourself, your aim is to build something that can last and stand the test of time. Another disadvantage is you might not get exactly what you want. Yes. Okay. If you're building yourself, you are the one in charge of the design. Okay, you are the one cutting the shot, telling them what to put in the right places. But if you're buying an existing home, you will not be the one in charge. The house is already built, so sometimes getting exactly what you want might be difficult. And that's bring me to another point that called upgrade cost. That means you're trying to bring the house to your test, which means extra expenditure and extra cost. Okay, the size of the bedroom is not what you want, or the decoration of the design is not what you want. That means you're going to spend more cost trying to fit in to what you want. Okay, so these are the reasons why sometimes a lot of people choose to build for themselves, while others choose to go for the existing house that has already been built. So, but it depends on your choice on what you want. To some people, it is more better for them to build. They can go through the stress, they can go through the wahala of the money and the rest of them to get what they want. Some people, they can't go through that stress. They prefer to go to the ones that are already built so that they can just for fast, like maybe they want to move into a location and they have a limited time, so they decided to go for the one that has not been built. So I want to thank you for watching through this little video that we made this up today, showing you the pros and cons of building yourself or buying existing one. If you're new to this channel, want to make sure that you hit that notification button and subscribe, so whenever we make a video, you'll be the first to receive it. And those of you who have been following us, say thank you very much for trusting our brand. And those who has bought through Ketme Properties, remember, we are the best, honestly, when it comes to real estate matter in Lagos State. So keep on sharing, keep subscribing, and above all, like this so that other people can benefit from this video. So thank you very much for staying tuned. Till we meet again.